Hi there, hello, welcome to episode 39 of MixStream. My name is JD from Studio 2105. Right, selamat datang kepada semua penonton, semua viewers yang baru. Especially if you are new here, warm welcome to you, okay? Right, so my name is JD, by the way, and I think on this live stream tonight is gonna be cool. It's quite happening in the live chat that's going on sekarang. Sebab ada ramai fans dan peminat dan kawan-kawan Projector Band lah. Okay, right. So sedikit sebanyak dulu. Let me just quickly explain what Direct Access Mixstream is. This is a YouTube channel, right? My YouTube channel yang mengeluarkan konten yang berkaitan tentang topik-topik yang ranging from recording, mixing, mastering, music business, music theory, right? Apa-apa yang berkaitan dengan music production lah. And tonight, right, on this program which is called Mixstream, I'm going to be featuring the mixing process behind Projector Band punya single terbaru yang akan keluar tidak lama lagi. Tajuknya Kau Bertopeng, alright? So, I believe ramai di antara on here the live chat there are fans and or ataupun kawan-kawan to Projector Band. So right, if not, if you are new viewers, all the details and info actually is down in the description lah. Okay. Some of the information, some of the new updates, right? I don't want to talk too much about it sebab memang ada di description sana. Oh, by the way, memang there is a live chat that's going on down there. Okay, so ada ramai yang I nampak is already in the live chat, right? Akmal Isan, Deaf Messenger, Wani, Amirul, File Entertainment, Alpha, Deja, Junior Andy, Muhammad Faris. Okay, right. Minta maaf kalau I tertinggal terlepas sesiapa lah yang ada dekat sana. Deaf Messenger says Happy Chinese New Year in advance, JD. Oh, Kong Hifa Choi. Okay, alright. I pun dah mula in the mood to cuti dan beraya already. So, okay, let's go without further ado. Maybe first of all, right. Oh, kalau kalau kamu ni first time tune in kepada channel ni dan kalau kamu berminat tentang topik-topik tentang subjek tentang recording, mixing, music production ni, kalau boleh tolong klik on the subscribe button. Jadi seorang subscriber today, I will really appreciate it. Okay. Now lagi satu one more element of this Mixstream show. Kalau boleh nampak dekat atas, there's a text here. Let me show you. Right. And let me just kind of show you dekat sini. Now, kalau if you want to sort of support the featured artist and to support the channel, you can juga pergi ke website dekat atas ni, Patreon website, patreon.com/studio2105. So over there dia ada info lah macam mana you boleh sign up, you boleh jadi seorang patron subscriber. So patron program subscriber ni, alright, dia akan is to support the channel and juga 50% of any kind of your subscription or any kind of revenue from this video, from this live stream akan juga pergi to support the artist jugalah. Okay, in this case Projector Band. So okay, so cool. Right. Bagi siapa yang dah tune in awal lagi, you probably heard me explaining about apa the objective and mission of the Mixstream program and this live stream. Cuma nak bagi orang, nak sedarkan orang awam tentang proses yang berlaku di belakang tabir, right? What happens behind the scenes. So we're going to be mixing this, right? I'm going to be mixing the track. The guys from Projector Band already recorded everything. They already did all the recording, the drum space, guitar, vocal, semua dah siap. So bila dah siap recording, dia akan hantar kepada mixing engineer, itu saya lah in this case, untuk buat mixing dan mastering. Selepas mixing mastering siap, baru kita ada finish final product yang akan keluar. Okay, sama ada di radio ke, di Spotify atau di YouTube nantilah. So jom, alright, let's get on down. Kalau ada apa-apa soalan, right, please interact. There is a live chat that's going on, right? So nak komen apa-apa ke, any kind of questions you want to do to shoot off to me, right? You just go ahead. So let's start. First thing, alright. So first thing, anda dapat all these tracks, okay? And obviously ini semua dah disusun, I dah edit, I dah buat any sort of pre-production and prepping editing, semua I dah buat terlebih awal daripada ni lah, alright. Benda tu kerja prepping dan editing pun benda yang ambil masa yang panjang juga, okay. So there's a lot of work involved. So first things first, before we even do anything, kita start dulu by putting a rough mix. So tadi yang dah join the live stream awal tadi mungkin dah dengar, right? You had the music playing in the background, but without the vocals lah. So sekarang kita akan dengar, right? Let's listen to the vocals, okay? And sementara let's listen to the rough mix sebab kita nak dapatkan the overall feel. Nak for me as a mixing engineer, I want to hear, okay, you know, the overall parts, dia punya structure macam mana, dia punya vocal macam mana, dia punya arrangement macam mana, part mana ada solo, part mana ada part string line, ada line ni mana yang perlu highlight, mana kena highlight ke depan, mana elemen atau part yang kena, you know, letak dekat belakang sikit. All these kind of things I kena, alright, fikir dan I kena ambil kira, right, while I'm listening to the overall song, right. It's very important. You tak nak just go straight away and then straight away mix all the tracks without knowing the overall big picture dulu. Okay, so while I play this, I'm going to do some commentary on some of the stuff which comes to mind, and also kind of check out what's happening in the live chat. Okay, so jom, let's listen to the rough mix of Kau Bertopeng. Now, I may not play the whole song. I maybe just play maybe until the middle section, 2/3 lah, because this song is quite long, okay, which is cool. Here we go. Okay, let's roll. So, start off. Straight pada vocal. So no intro, dia masuk straight vocal. Very cool. Straight kepada first verse. Then this is a pre-chorus. So good attention. Dia terus masuk kepada a verse, right? Terus masuk kepada vocal. Then baru ada instrumental punya intro. Ni actually baru the vocal. Alright, cool. Then masuk second verse. Okay, right. The drums here are live drums, and it's great, man. It's awesome to be recording with live drums. Sebab sebelum ni, you know, if you watch a lot of some of my previous episodes, and sebelum ni because of MCO, because of PKP, right, banyak project terpaksa, you know, buat di rumah lah, terpaksa rakam di rumah. So right, sebab banyak band terpaksa record dekat rumah, dia tak boleh record live drums, so a lot of program drums. So I'm so happy that, you know, I've been getting some projects now which is using real live drums. So let's check it out, okay? Okay, that was the chorus, and then they masuk this kind of into like a first bridge, right? Ada choir sikit. And then start away dah ada solo. This is the first solo. This is like a breakdown. Then masuk pre-chorus. So these guys are going for a totally different kind of a arrangement. And masuk chorus 2. Nice. Right. Actually ni masih pre-chorus belum masuk chorus lagi. Okay, chorus, second chorus. Okay, right. I'm going to stop here, right? I'm not going to play the whole song lah, right? Because dekat belakang ni, there is more solos, there's a more extended punya outro, right? So we're not going to listen to that, right? Sebab nanti dia makan masa terlalu panjang. It's going to take too long, right? So, first thing that I can tell is that definitely the guys are going for, the band's going for a very different concept and a different arrangement. They're going for something that's lagi heavy, much more heavier punya sound yang lagi, you know, lagi berat lah, right? Lagi a lot more rock, okay, right? So so different daripada, you know, some of the ballads yang, you know, the rock ballad yang kita biasa lah, yang we usually hear. So again, kudos man, they're trying something different. So kita start. Let's start. First of all, first thing first, I want to check my initial level dulu. Right, I'm going to start with the kick drum. So I want to make sure that I get a good initial level and a good gain staging, sebab I nak dapatkan first of all, I nak make sure that I am not going to clip. I have enough headroom. I'm not going to clip. I'm not going to distort the master. And then secondly, I make sure that the level also is not going to end up nanti the final mix too soft. Kalau dia level dia too soft, nanti mastering nanti dia ada problems with noise. There's going to be noise issues. So let's start with the kick drum, okay? So kick drum dulu, right? So how is the technique which I will try to set for the initial level? Okay, this is what I will do. I'll try to to set my kick drum so that my master, dia akan peak at about minus 12 dBFS, okay? So, alright, so let me see. Let me bring this window over here so it's easier to see. So, I nak dapatkan, so my kick drum akan peak dekat sini, right? Minus 12 dBFS. So, this is a good tip for anyone who is want to get mixing. Right, so setkan lebih kurang, right? It's a good tip lah, right? Set the kick drum, so dia akan reach that kind of level there, okay? Okay, so mungkin I buat macam ni senang sikit, dan boleh nampak, you can see the master here, and where is the other window? Channel settings, kick. Okay, right. Let's solo the kick drum. Okay, alright. So boleh nampak it is peaking at about 11.7. Okay, I just want to bring it down a little bit because I have one more thing, right? Because I also have a kick drum sample. Now, there is this sample here which I already did, yang buat the drum sample replacement sebelum ni, right? And a lot of modern rock and modern rock or modern pop, right? A lot of the kick and snare is pretty much all have samples lah, sample replacement, because that's the way, right, then that you can dapat kick dan snare yang powerful. Okay, so we're gonna blend these two, then only we see whether we can get minus 12 dBFS. Okay, so let me just add this. Okay, yeah, okay, so this one is okay. Let me just turn off this first. This is the sample drum, okay, and this is the live drum. Right, the live drum you can hear ada sikit bleed lah, right? There's bleeding from the snare, from the a bit of the hi-hat, a bit of the snare akan bleed masuk. Okay, but the point is, I'm trying to get it so dia akan peak lebih kurang minus 12 dBFS. So let me just check another section. Mungkin dekat sini kot. Okay, alright, let me just pump it up a bit more, about lebih kurang 3 dB. Okay, tune, right? It's hitting about minus 12. Can you see? Well, maybe 1 or 2 hits dia terlebih lah, like 11.4 lah. That's fine, that's okay. It's not a problem, not an issue. Okay, now, so lepas I dah set the level of this kick drum, I takkan usik tau. I will leave the kick drum level there, right, as it is, and balance everything else. So especially for you guys, whoever is mixing, they are thinking like, macam mana nak dapatkan level yang, you know, secukupnya, yang I tak akan overload the master bus, I won't ataupun my overall mix level terlalu rendah, terlalu tinggi. So this will be just nice, all right? Minus 12 will be a good guide for you to starting point to set your kick drum so that it peaks at about minus 12 dBFS, and then you balance everything else. The rest of the mix, you balance kepada the setting of this kick drum, okay? All right, so first things first, let's deal with a little bit of the live drum mic. So I want to show you very quickly what I will put on every channel. Setiap channel, I akan letak 2 atau 3 plugin ni, right? Dan 2 plugin ni is what we call the tape and console emulation. What's tape and console emulation, right? So this one, for example, this is called Slate Virtual Tape Machine. This is an emulation of an analog tape machine. Okay? So zaman dulu, and in fact sometimes sekarang dah jarang lah, tapi zaman dulu, and a lot of our favorite records, the best selling records, hit yang the biggest hits that we love, a lot of stuff was recorded and mixed on analog consoles, analog equipment. So this is a tape machine, and followed by dekat sini, this is virtual mix rack. There are 2 plugins here. This is called virtual channel. So virtual channel is an emulation of analog console. Okay, so you got everything from SSL 4000, right? API, Neve, Trident, and RCA. All right, so this will emulate seolah-olah the signal is going through the signal path of an analog console. And then next it also goes to this. This is FG73. This is a preamp, Neve punya preamp, Neve 1073 punya model. Okay, so the whole idea of doing this, putting these 2 plugins ni, actually there's 3 lah. Sebab kita nak try to recreate the signal path seolah-olah we are recording this on analog tape and mixing this on an analog console, right? Those big, large format analog consoles like SSLs, Neves, APIs, right? Those kind of consoles lah. Sebab, right, there's just something about the sound and the tone, right, that comes from working with this. So, right, in digital is very common. We will do this nowadays. So let's start with the kick, and I've got a couple of new toys to play with. So let me try first of all, let's work with some EQ. So for the kick drum ni, usually I want to get rid of some boxiness. So we take out at about lebih kurang, okay, let's just solo this section. Okay, about 200 Hertz and about 400 Hertz. Okay, just to give it a bit of a scooped sound. So the mid-range scoop sikit. And maybe a bit of 50 Hertz just to give it a bit of a nice, okay? Right, cool. Tune. Okay, let's play with the... This is going to be a new plugin. This is a new update from Slate Digital. This is the FG Dynamics. Let's play around with this. Alright, so FG Dynamics is the new compressor. Let's check it out, okay? So let's go with... ratio set to about 4 dulu. Release, okay. Okay, let's try out the gate. Just experiment a little bit. So let's play with the range 40 dB. Very cool. So this is the gate. Let's bring the release down. Very cool. I have fast attack. So the gate here akan buang a lot of the bleed that's coming out. Okay, let's just leave it there because this is pretty interesting. Let's bring the range to about 30 dB lah. So compare without this. You can hear all the hi-hat kat semua kan, right? This one, wow, okay, it really cleans it up, really good. Okay, so let me just check with the compressor. So let's play with the threshold. In fact, let's go and play this section lah, right? There's more double pedal kat sini. So threshold. Very nice, okay? Bypass. So dia lagi punchy. So it cleans it up and makes it a little bit more punchier. Very good. I like that. Okay. I like that very much. So let me just do one more thing. Now I usually don't do a lot of compression, but just now I was just trying out, right? Just trying out the new FG Dynamics module. So, but what I like to do on a lot of the close mic parts, like for example this kick drum, is to use a bit of a clipper, okay? Just to bagi a bit of a soft clipper. So this is just to clip a little bit of the peaks, that's all. Okay, cool, that's it. Sketch just a little bit on the loudest hits, so it's just to control the peaks. So now let's blend in the sample kick drum. Okay, so I think the majority of this sound is going to come from the sample kick lah. So, alright, let me solo this. Let me EQ out. Sample kick, the sound of the sample kick is already really, really good. Don't need any kind of a dynamics or compression on it. Just a little bit of EQ, right? So let me listen. Okay, at about 110, I just want to get rid of 110 around here. Okay, and there's a bit of honky at about 460 hertz. So let's just get rid of that, alright? Okay, cool. Nice. So we got a nice, tight sounding kick drum ready. So I can actually skip. Let's skip all of this. Next thing I want to do is overheads, okay? So overheads is very, very important. So same thing, tape and console emulation. And I like working with overheads first because I prefer to build I punya drum sound from the top to the bottom, okay? So let's go. Okay, sounds pretty good. All right. So let me just EQ it a bit. Now, actually, before that, okay, I just want to check the phase of these two. Now, because I didn't record, because the drum team was recorded at a different studio, right? Let's just double check the polarity and the phase of the two, okay? So I use this plugin called In-Phase Stereo. So how to check the polarity? Sangat senang. You just load it in, right, to the stereo, the overhead bus, which is the overhead left and right, and let it run, and use the capture, right? It's going to capture and analyze the audio. It just takes a few seconds and voila. So first things you want to note, okay, the top here, this is the overhead left, and the bottom yang ni overhead right, okay? And the other thing you want to pay attention to is the correlation meter. So this meter, when the nilai is positive, when it gives you a positive value, it shows that generally, you're right, you have positive correlation in your sound, in your audio, which is good. Means kebanyakan, right, most of the sound, the signal is in phase. When it goes to negative, right, when it becomes yellow color, as you can see, yellow color ni, right, this is usually means there's a lot of phase cancellation going on. But it's blue, so this is a good sign. So that's good, right? That means the recording engineer, the studio that took care of it, did it very well. So kita akan zoom in. Let's zoom in to the waveform sini, and let's just examine. Let's just take a look, okay? Right. So as you can see, if I take this peak, for example, you akan perasan that the peak here on the left is a little bit earlier than the peak on the right. Very slight, sikit je. Alright, so sometimes it's not a problem, sometimes it's not an issue, but I'm going to check and see, boleh tak? Can I make the overheads, the phase relationship, the correlation between the overheads a lot better? If I do that, dia punya stereo imaging is going to be a little more tighter, right? A little bit more focused, and generally that means it's going to sound better lah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, and I'm going to just bring this, going to delay the track so that we have the peaks matching, right, at about the same. So kalau semua okay, if everything goes well according to plan, you should see the correlation meter go higher and better, okay? We should lah, okay? So let's take a look and see what happens. Okay, I can either drag here, right, or I can also move this. So let's move this over here and see what happens. 0.8 is actually going down. It's going down. It's going down. Oh no. So interesting, right? Interesting. Very interesting. So what happens here actually, I think I know what is happening. So this peak, as you can see, the maximum value I'm getting here is -10, and it's at over this side. So this means that maybe there is, like, a polarity flip here. Okay, let me explore a little bit more. Okay, tengok dulu. It's still get better. Okay, right. So okay, I get -12 here. Okay, this means I need to flip the polarity. I'm going to try this, okay? Let me try this. Let's flip the polarity on this, and you should see the value go to +12. Okay. Dengar dulu. Let's take a listen first. See is it better or not, okay? Let me listen. Bypass. Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think this is actually a lot more focused. Right? So this is a little bit more focused. Let me just pull this out and see. Let me just check the rest of these waveforms. Okay, so this basically means that, the waveform actually coincides and syncs like that lah. Okay, very good. So let's try and remember. Kita ingat ya. Firstly, on the left channel, right, the overhead left, polarity is flipped, and the delay is 1.91 milliseconds. So let's remember this, and let's try and apply this, okay? So macam mana we go apply? Let's go to the inspector section here. Now your DAW may have something similar, right? But this is Cubase. So mungkin in your other DAWs, they may have some kind of a sample delay or sample shift plugin that can do the same thing lah. But Cubase dia memang dah built in, okay? So track delay 1.91 milliseconds. And let's not forget, flip the polarity, okay? So let's listen to this. Let's disable, make sure the in phase is disabled, and let's listen. Okay, right. Very good. Let me flip the place. Oh no, this one you can hear it's very out of phase. Okay, very much better. This definitely, right? So just by playing with the phase and putting a little bit of track delay to make sure that the phase is correlating very well, tiba-tiba from the overhead is not cohesive, is not very focused. Suddenly, the whole drum kit just becomes super clear and focused, right? And that's at least to me lah. So yeah, there we go. Okay, overheads. So let's listen with the kick drum. Very good, very nice. So next thing on the overheads that I want to do, okay, we can throw away the in phase. The next thing that I want to drop in is this AOC's de-esser. I use this right on the overhead soften benda ni just to kind of massage and to control the overheads, especially when you get to the cymbal crashes, right? Because otherwise sometimes it's terlalu bingit, it's too like harsh. You just want to control it a little bit, just so not much. Okay, you see when it hits here, right? This is where yeah, exactly. Whenever the crash hits, it's gonna dip it. Not more, 1 or 2 dB only. Sikit je. That's all we need, alright? Just to make sure that the crash doesn't go, too hard lah. So there we go, right? So that's kick and overheads. Very cool. Alright, so next one, let's bring in some snare, okay? So let's check it out. I'm gonna bring in the snare sample first. Very good. All right. So okay, let me just mute this. Let's go with maybe the mic first. All right. So this is the mic track. Solo dulu. Solo dulu. Hello. Bukan mana itu? Okay, there. Okay, right. So this snare has got a bit of the ring, which is cool. We want a little bit of that. Okay, let's EQ. Tapi dia ada sikit ringing dekat a higher frequency ring. So this one is a bit nasal, 650, 660 hertz, kong, 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 that kind of sound. So usually we try and buang lah ini. Let's check out this snare 2. What is this snare 2? Right, let's check out what. Do we really need this? So I think tak perlu kot. Let me just flip the polarity. Oh, that's interesting. Why do we need two of this? They seem to be the same thing but out of phase. Okay, right. So immediately, all right, I make decisions very fast. I say we don't need this. Straight away, I'm going to delete that track already. Okay, because we already have this one snare track and that's good enough. Okay, so back to that position. Okay, this is gonna need some EQ. Same, I'm gonna put the API, which is my favorite EQ. Okay, right. It sounds a bit drastic, 12 dB. But if that's what it needs, that's what it needs, man. Okay, let's check the phase. Okay, right, good, cool. Alright. So now the snare recording on this isn't that great. I think, you know, the snare doesn't really have punch and impact. So I'm gonna blend in the samples lah, okay? There we go. Alright. All these samples, by the way, are from SSD, Steven Slate Drums 5. Okay, so I got two different samples here. This one is from a snare. This is a Tama's Star Classic Maple, right? Drum, so it sounds like this. So this one has got a bit more of the attack. But I'm gonna do one more. This is called the Vinnie Paul. So this is very famous snare sound actually. This is the Paramore snare sound, alright? So this one is like fat. It's like a very, very fat, a bit of ring and resonance to it, okay? Yeah, so nice and fat. Okay, but we might need mungkin. Let me just bring up the Tama a bit more. Very cool, alright. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of saturation to the snare drum. Bagi dia, let it have a bit more bite, right? So where is that? That would be Plugin Alliance. Let's look for the EQ. And not EQ, I think. Distortion, yes. Black box, analog design. So this is a saturation box. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's activate the saturation. Let's go with the pentode dulu. A bit of air. Bring the output down. Let's balance. Let's check low. High. No, let's keep it flat. Keep it flat. Let's bring the air down. Yeah, just to give it a little bit more extra bite lah to the snare drum, okay? Very tuned. Okay, very tuned. Let's go hi-hat now. Hi-hat. Hi-hat is usually very simple. Okay, just roll out a lot of bottom end. And there's this little frequency at about 990. And there's one little ring at the top yang a bit ding, that's note. This is about 1.9k, almost 2k lah region there. It's just a little notch out, okay? Okay, so hi-hat, pan to left. Very good. There we go. Let's jump to the room sound first. Let's experiment. Let's play with the room sound. Let's listen to the solo room sound. Okay, this room sound's got a lot of high end. Where is this coming from? Okay. Very interesting. This is a room. This sounds like a ride microphone though. It says here ambience. Okay, but this is not really working for me. Okay, so let's not do that first because there's so much symbols in there which I don't think it's going to be a problem. Okay, ia akan menjadi masalah nanti. So let's go with this. So this is room SSD. This is a sample of the room that's taken from the Slate digital Steven Slate drum library. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it through the Smasher. So the Smasher is an emulation of the 1176. And what I'm going to do is we're going to really squash the room, okay? There we go. You can hear it already. So you get an explosive sound, you know. It's going to squeeze the room sound, so it's going to bring up all the ambience and all the sustain. Okay, bypass. So this is room sound without it. Okay, output, let me balance, compensate. So you see, it sounds like an explosion. Okay, bypass. Everything is much more aggressive. Okay, let me pull the mix back down a little bit. Maybe about 70%. Okay, then we just mix and blend it in with the original drum sound. Okay, listen. Already it's contributing, right, such a big sound to it. Okay, I'm gonna EQ this so we don't really need the bottom end. Okay, then the other sikit with some resonance. At about 930. And one. And about 770 or so. And we don't need all the top end, so everything above 10k, 10 kilohertz pun kita tak perlu lah. Okay. By the way, sorry if I'm not checking some of the chat, okay? Because you know, bila I dah start concentrate mixing ni, okay? Then when I start mixing this, I may miss some of the stuff in the chat, okay? But I promise I will always look back at the chat. Okay, let's maybe still needs a little bit more bite at about 3k. Okay, nice. Okay, let me go back to the mic snare tadi. Alright, let me just go to this part at the back because I think I'm still gonna need the clipper. Okay, okay, just to control it lah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Alright. Because especially on some of the loud hits, it starts to get a bit spiky. There we go. Very tuned. Okay, and that's it. So that's it for the kick, snare, overhead, and room. So apa yang tertinggal? Toms. Right? Let's go to the toms. Let's start with, let's go at this section. Cari satu part yang ada banyak tom row. Is this one okay? Okay, yeah, this is better. Alright, let's check out. So same thing, right? On all the tom tracks, there is also going to be the same thing lah, tape and console emulation. Very important. First thing that we do, check once again the polarity and the phase, okay? So with the toms, with the overhead microphones. So let's cycle just this tom, right? It's got to sound a bit funny, okay? Okay, flip polarity. Dengar dulu. Okay, right. It sounds a little thin, right? Suddenly it sounds like the mid-range got a little bit sucked out already. So we know that our original polarity is working fine, okay? So let's bypass it. Let's just focus on just the toms itself. Okay, first thing first. Okay, we don't need some of the bottom end. Okay, then the honkiness, the nasal punya mid-range is about 600. We take it out. Okay, and there's one other ring. That here. about 300. So we don't need that also. Okay, but we're gonna need a little bit of body lah to this tom. Okay, so what I'd like to do is we're gonna use the bark of dog. Okay, this is a very cool EQ that I use. So I set it about 50 dB and let's look for the center frequency. Okay. So about 150, 160, right around here, right? Yeah, at about 160 hertz. So let's check whether with classic mode, which sounds better. Passive mode sounds a bit muddy. Combo. Okay, kita go with classic mode lah. Okay, so classic mode sounds the best. So let's check this part out. Okay, let me just pan this a bit hard, right? Oh, my mouse resolution. Let me just reset it back to the original, even though it's very hard to control. Okay, cool, right? So let's just set that first. I know it sounds funny for now. So kita repeat the process for tom 2, right? So let's set it about 10 dB, solo the toms, check for polarity, okay? Just check every time whenever you're mixing or recording. Just make it a habit to just check the polarity, because sometimes the difference between something that yang bunyinya nipis, that sounds thin, the moment you just flip the polarity, sometimes right, you discover that, oh wow, suddenly all the sound are, it's full, it's fat again. Sometimes it's just because, right, the polarity was inverted. So tom 2, put it on a loop first, flip polarity. Oh yeah, okay. Again, if you have to listen to this on headphones or good pair of earphones or headphones lah, okay. Kalau listen on kalau dengar on a speakerphone or handphone, you're probably not going to hear the difference. Okay, you're going to be wondering, JD, apa you cakap apa ni? What are you talking about? Okay, here we go. Let's flip back to the original. Let's go back to toms. Okay, flip. Okay. Okay, because this is a bigger tom, there's going to be more overtones. Yeah, ada banyak overtones sikit. And one more, the boxiness also around. Also about 690, almost 700 hertz. Okay, let's do a wider Q. Okay, right. Okay, this really helps to clean up the sound lah. Bypass. Okay, dia bunyi macam plastik. It's like tong, sampah. Now it's a little bit better. Okay, we cut out some of those resonances. Same thing. Let's go with the bark of dog one more time, and let's check it out. Roughly 5 dB is always a good starting point. So this is kind of about 120. Let's see. Yeah, okay, about 120, 130. So let's go with 130 lah. Needs more, I think, 6 dB. So about 6 dB. Okay, let's check the different mode. Classic mode. Passive mode, it sounds fatter. Combo. Let's go combo, right? Combo sounds a bit fatter and a bit bigger. Anyway, this is the tom 2. The tom 2 ni is a bigger tom, so we need it to be a little bit fatter lah. And then last but not least, float tom. Alright, same process again. Check polarity, very important. Okay, alright. Flip. Okay, cool. Right, so very clear. Alright, this one is less subtle, but you still can hear, okay, that the original polarity is better. So let's solo tom 3, float tom. Okay. So about 230, 220. Okay, and then one more. About 390 hertz. Okay, and then there's one more, okay? Because this is the bigger the tom, lagi besar the tom, the more overtones you get, okay? So this is about 580 hertz, right? Okay, compare dulu. Bypass EQ. Yeah, see, it's very metallic. You know, it's like hitting a tong sampah. Okay, and then this. Okay, good. Right, you hear more of the low end. So same thing. Let's go with the bark of dog at about 5 dB, and this one. It's about 90 hertz. Okay, about 90 hertz. Check. Classic mode. Passive. Passive has got a nice scoop. It scoops out the mid-range. I like passive on this actually. It helps to scoop the right. So you get a boost at about 90, but above that, about 100, 110, 120, you get a nice bit of a scoop also, right? So memang this is what we would want lah. Okay, so cool. So there we go. Let's listen to how the toms work. Very good. All right. Jun. There you go. All right. Okay, very cool. So next thing, we're pretty much there. Kick, snare, toms are all there. I'm going to add a little bit of reverb to some of the drums. Okay, I'm actually going to start with adding some reverb on the overhead mics. This is something that I belajar watching Chris Lord Alch, okay, how he does it. He seldom, right, adds the reverb to the close mics, but he actually does it to the overheads, which is very interesting. So I tried it, right, and I like it. So I'm going to load, right, a convolution and IR, right, impulse response for snare plate. Okay, into this reverb here. This is called reverence. This is a convolution reverb that is memang stock lah. It comes with Cubase. And right, gonna send this the overheads too. There you go. You see, you already got a little bit of room ambience there. Okay, right. Okay, something is being cut out a bit too soon. Let me just check out what's very funny. Okay, what's cutting out? What is cutting out, huh? Ah, okay, I know, right. Okay, this, the tom, the snare, the room, right? The room track here. Suddenly it was cut off. Then suddenly it's like, what happened to the ambience? Yeah, okay, that's better. Okay, now let's add a little bit of reverb also to the snare. Let's go. Okay, why does this part also sound like it's been cut? Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, all right. Now, I know who did the editing. This one was actually my intern yang cut. So, the thing is that sometimes these kind of things you don't want to cut because you're killing away the sustain. That's better. Dia baru di natural sikit. Very good. Okay, now let's go. I want to EQ the reverb a little bit because I can hear that there's some resonances being generated. So this is just the reverb only, okay? So there's about 1.1k there yang kita tak nak. And one more higher here. It's about 2.36k, 2.4k. Just a little bit. So just EQing out some of these resonances that's happening on the reverb. So, okay, let's go back to here. Very cool. Okay, now on the toms, on the overall tom group, we don't need all the top end, so we can take out all the 10 kilohertz and above. And let's check out. All right, let's check out this intro here because there's this little tom section. Okay, right. this tom here, dia mungkin a bit soft, right? So this sometimes maybe, you know, could be due to, you know, maybe the dynamics of the drummer. So let's bring this up. Nice, okay, just about 4 dB. Yeah, tak banyak, just sikit je, a little bit. This one I think also needs about 4 dB up. There you go, cool, done. Here also I think, maybe it's an overall. Okay, very cool. There we go. Right, so now let's add a little bit of compression to the drums. So I don't use a lot of compression on the individual punya drum tracks, but on the overall drum bass, I will love, right, using compression. And what I love to use is this API 2500. That's my favorite. Okay, so let's just check it out. Right, so let's engage it. Oh, immediately you can hear it's grabbing the snare. Okay, so we probably gonna compensate by about a dB first. Okay, bypasser, you can hear the snare is gonna be a big difference. Okay, it's nice. This is very aggressive, but let's maybe just need to reduce it sikit kot. Okay, about. Right, let's bring the threshold down about 3 dB. So let's change the next thing I want to check is the attack. Okay, now it's not so bad. Once I brought the threshold down, the fast attack here doesn't seem too bad. Okay, bypass. Okay, still good. Okay, jom. Now I'm going to adjust the attack time, so we're going to go with a slower attack time. So now it's 0.1 milliseconds. It's still very fast. I'm just adjusting to see. Okay, 0.3. Okay, 0.3 is letting a little bit of the transient through. So let's just leave it at there because I like it. Later on, I don't know, right? Later on, once the bass and once the guitar, everything masuk, we won't know, okay? You might need a little bit more. Okay, so let me just disable this first. That's the room, original mic room. So let's go with bass. Okay, let's load in the bass. Dengar bass. Nice. Okay, right, okay. It's quite clean, it's quite straightforward, but I feel like we need to add a bit of character. So what we're gonna do is, right, because this is a rock track, man, we gotta have the bass really rocking. So I'm gonna go with MPEG SVT. Right. So this is going to be the classic bass amp for rock and roll. So let's check it out. Oh, it's so fat. That's so nice. Let's bypass. So this is just the clean DI. So now we're gonna run this to the MPEG SVT, the peti sejuk, the fridge. Oh, that's beautiful, man. Okay, so this is just stock. I didn't even touch anything with the EQ yet, but maybe just a tad less, slightly less bass. And let me, okay, how do we go to the power soak? Ah, there we go, power soak. So we just want to compensate to make sure that the volume is still the same. Okay, let me bring the gain up, so we're gonna get a little bit more distortion. So we get a bit of distortion, okay, in the bass, okay? This is gonna help it to poke out, alright, and stand out a little bit more. Okay, bypass. So this is a DI sound. So, Okay, very cool. Turn this down about 12 dB. Very nice. Okay, I like what I see. Okay, so let's check the. Okay, that's very cool. You can see my assistant actually helped me to clean all the bass tracks up. That's very good. All right. Okay, so now this bass track, I'm sending it to this bass group. Okay, so let me just show you what I have in the bass group dulu. First thing that I have here, this is Wave C4 stereo. Ni ada. This is actually a multi-band, right? Okay, I see Jonathan, I see Junior and Andy and a couple of people inside the chat. Hey, Jonathan, right? How you doing, man? Thanks for jumping in on the live stream. Okay, where are we going right now? Okay, right. So Wave C4, this Wave C4, Diony is a multi-band compressor, but only the low band, this one is active. Yang the rest, these are all bypass. And the reason why this is just to control the bottom end. That's all. Right, I have this as the first compressor in the chain to sort of control everything. Okay, so let's just see what's it doing. Just a little bit, just a couple of dB. Okay, bypass first. Good, right? So at least the bottom end is nice and even. Okay, let me just turn off some of the reverb. I feel might be too much. Where is it coming from? Is it coming from the SSD? Okay, right. Okay, it is coming from the SSD, and it feels like it's causing one side to be a little bit louder. So I mean, sometimes it's like that, like the room sample, depending on where the room mics is. Okay, so I'm gonna have to compensate for this. All right, let me turn the left hand side down. Check again. Better God, about 2 dB. All right, let's listen to this. Okay, cool. Yeah. Now at least the room SSD sound doesn't sound like it's like heavy on one side. Okay, so that's better. Okay, let me kind of reintroduce all the room sound here. I think my intern was a little bit too aggressive with the editing. Yeah, it was a little bit too aggressive with the edits. Okay, so sometimes we do want all the room sound there lah. Okay. All right, let's keep all the room. Let me just pull this all back out. But we want the room sound. Okay, let me just double check here. The room sound, yes, okay, let's leave it here. Nice, okay, so where were we? Let's go back to the bass. So next thing I have, this is Surfer EQ. So what I'm going to do with this is a very, very intelligent, it's a smart EQ from Sound Radix. What this does is that I can dial this so that it will track the frequency. So what I'm going to use this is I'm going to set this so that it's going to track maybe the fifth harmonic. Okay, in this case the fifth harmonic will sound like this. That note, hear that? That range, that frequency. I don't want that because that kind of interferes and clashes a little bit with the root note. So just drop it out by about 1.9, you know, around 2 dB like that lah. Right, just like that. So this will make the bass note a little bit clear. Dia akan clear sikit, right? So you won't get too much of the... Sometimes it's the third harmonic, sometimes the fourth, the fifth, right? You don't know. It depends on the situation. So in this case, right, usually I aim for the fifth harmonic. So that helps to clean it up. Next thing will be the 1176 compressor. Okay, I love this on bass. I love this on everything lah, right? On vocal, on bass, all put sound tune. So I'm gonna run this through more for the tone. Okay, let's see. Let's be a bit more aggressive with it. Nice. Okay, nice and fat bypass. Okay, engage, bypass. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, let's listen in context. So fat, man. Really nice. Okay, we're not done yet. Next one, Bass Rider. So this is from Waves. Bass Rider is a super cool plugin, right, for very clean and transparent dynamics control. All right, very simple. You just set the range and you set the target, and what you will do automatically, the rider, this fader here, is going to adjust the level of the bass according to the target and you kita set lah. So let me show you. As you can see, it's acting there. Bring it down by about, sometimes -1, sometimes -2 dB. Okay, let's go look for a section of the song that is more flowy. Yeah, here. Let's see, yeah. Very nice. Okay, very even, right? It really controls the bass level. Very sweet, cool. Now, next thing I want to add is MV2. This is also by Waves. This one is great, right? It's one of my favorite plugins, okay? This is just going to add a bit of energy, a bit more, bring out the low levels detail. Let's bump it up. Okay, alright. Okay, now, it is making it louder, so you have to always make comparison, okay? Compensate the output. About 6 dB, I think, bypass. Turn it down a bit more, about 7 dB. Good. More, I think. Okay, what it's doing, right? The low level compression, it's like a little bit of expansion, it's a little bit of a parallel compression, right? It does something like that. What it's done is brought out a lot of the mid-range and upper harmonics. It's brought out the finger definition, right? It actually makes things a lot clearer, and bringing out basically what I want to do with this is just to squeeze as much of the power and the energy out of the bass. Okay, and let's listen in context with drums. Let's go. Bypass. Okay, right, so let's bring it back up by about 1 dB. Very nice. One more thing. Okay, just to give the bass a little bit more bite. Okay, FGA. This is the API 550 EQ. And I'm going to drive this 800 Hertz range. About 6 dB, okay? So I think we can still scoop out that lower mid a little bit. Let me just check and see. At about 200. Just to clean it up a bit. Sweet, okay, nice. Alright, I think I like where it's going. So next one, distortion. Yeah, right, baby. Let's go with the distortion. Let's solo this single distortion track first. Right. Not sure exactly what this was recorded with. I'm not sure whether the guys can give a, Let's see what else going. Okay, it sounds very dry, so it's probably using some kind of amp modeler, or maybe like an multi effects pedal. It's good sound. So let me take out all the bottom end. We don't really need 70 Hertz. Okay, you can hear a little bit of the low end woof notes, so maybe you need to. So that will be about 170. Let's get rid of that. Okay, that helps to clean it up a bit. Okay, very cool. All right, so let's duplicate, copy left and right. So let's have both the distortion tracks. Let's link them and let's blend it in. Okay, let's listen to the drums. And oh, did I already? Okay, hang on a second. Looks like I didn't. So let's do it one more time. Let me unlink these guys first. One more time, and let's check it out. Check it out. Okay, there's a little bit of you can hear a little bit of that harmonic there. Kung, kung. Yeah, that's about 448, 450 hertz. All right, let's try that again. Okay, cool. Let's listen to this left distortion. There's a bit of it's a bit of noise in between. So unfortunately, that is muddying up the guitar track, the guitar part. So later on, I'll probably have to clean it up lah. So let's listen from the top again. Okay, cool. Now let me just drop in this EQ. This is the banner maker. Okay, let's bring it up about nice. Very cool. Okay, cool. Right. I think there again some parts here we could do like here. Okay, I probably would want to edit this for tightness later on, but I won't do it now lah. I tak akan buat sekarang, I buat kemudian. Because if I do all this editing work now, it's gonna be super boring. Okay, no one is gonna want to watch people edit stuff. So just a little bit of cleaning up here. Yeah, because you want that stop to be you want it to be impactful. Okay, very cool. So I feel like one thing that is let me try this and experiment this for a while. Okay, I feel like because sometimes I think when you record with DI, or if you run through some pedals or some settings, sometimes the initial punch is not there. So I mean, when you record guitar tracks like that, that's what you kind of you lose a little bit lah. You lose a little bit of the initial transient, that kick, if that you get with recording with a real 4x12 tube amp, right, set to 10. So I just want to try this and see. What I will do is use Transient Designer, or let's use Transient Designer because that gives us more control. Transient Designer Plus. Okay, especially let's start from the beginning. Okay, let's start from the top. Okay, let's sidechain on. Okay, right. So let's try and bring up the attack portion so we get a bit more attack out of it. Let's bring it maximum. Bypass. Okay, it's very subtle, even though I brought it up quite a lot. But it can be a troublesome there because the distortion waveform itself is very saturated. Really. Nice. But I'm happy with it, okay? I'm happy with it. So let's move on first. Now, because this is such a dry sound, let's add a little bit of room ambience. Let's go with Brainworks rooms. Let's go with ambience. Let's go for a very short. Just want to give the guitar sounds like it's inside of a 3D space instead of. Okay, yeah, that's too much. Let's bring the mix down. Maybe a room. Bypass. Let's change the room shape. A bit of pre-delay. Very cool. Okay, right. So now I think we need to have this. A bit of reverb on the close snares. Okay, very cool. Alright, so I think I want to just play with a little bit. Let's go back to this little snare section here. Okay, because I think this will benefit from using a bit of MV2 as well. Let's go back to MV2 mono. Let's go here. Okay, let's turn down the output. Okay, let me just EQ something out. Because about 910 Hertz, that's also coming up. Right, so MV2 here is actually going to bring up a lot of these marching ghost notes, which makes it better. Yeah, okay. Makes it a little clearer. Alright, very cool. Alright, so let me just duplicate some of the settings again over to the let's unlink all these guys first. Let's duplicate the settings here and see how it goes. Nice, okay. All right, okay. So I can see that maybe because this track, the level is a bit higher than the rest. Good. So I think, let's check it. Yep, let's leave it about minus 17. Okay, let's move on to this line guitars first. Okay, let's check it out. So same thing, solo this. So this doesn't need all the bottom end, so we can EQ, roll off all the bottom. So it's about 350 hertz we don't need. Let's take out some of the top end. That's all, and let's check out. Okay, and this is a slightly different tone. A bit of this. $450 hertz. Same thing, take out some of the top. Very nice, okay? So for these line guitars, you can actually add a bit of, again, either a little bit of reverb or a little bit of delay, but I'm gonna add in a bit of delay, just a little bit, just to see how. Let's go with the, which one should we go for? There we go. Fuse Audio Labs Bucket 500. This is something that's relatively new. Let's sync a bit of crossfeed. Don't need the noise. And let's just check, and let's go with 16 note. Very cool, okay? So you see, this delay here is going to give a little bit of ambience, a little space to this octave line, tapi it will still give a bit of, okay, let's go with low pass or high pass. But we'll still give a bit of separation, okay? So let's unlink these guys because we want them to have a slightly different level in terms. So this is 8th note. Let's go with 8th note dotted. So slightly different delay time on both. So at least you've got a bit of space lah. 3. Alright, very cool. So next thing kita nak jump into is the lead vocal, okay? So even though there ada banyak benda, all these solo guitars or the keyboard, synths, strings, we want to skip all that first because main important thing is your vocal, right? Vocal is always going to be the king. It's going to be the most important thing. So my advice is that when you mix, you try to use and masukkan the vocal, mix the lead vocal as soon and as early as possible. So you have your kick drum, you have your you have your drums, you have your bass, you have your main rhythm instruments. After that, jump straight to the vocals. Okay, so that's what I will do. So let's go to maybe this section here, which is pre-chorus. Right, so and I'll kind of run you through some of the processing that I have, okay? Let me just blend it in first. Very cool. Okay, so let's look at what I have here. So the vocals, right, I would split this into 2 stages. So this first stage yang I nak buat dulu is called the corrective processing. Right, corrective processing means I'm going to buang away. I want to get rid of all the ugly, all the nasty parts lah, right? Maybe too much low end, harsh frequencies, and all those kind of issues, right? So fortunately, this very good delivery by and we're going to check it out one by one. Let me bypass this. First thing I have here, this is called TDR Nova. Nova is a free, so you can get it free of charge, right? Parallel dynamic EQ. So it is very, very powerful. I definitely recommend that you go and download this lah. Okay, so let's start by taking out all the bottom end.
Oh tak benar, kapal ternama juga ada karam. Angin bertiup, hancur ribut melanda.
Can actually go pretty high. Actually, there's about 100. Usually I wouldn't
Jaga.
Usually I wouldn't go so high, 130, but it doesn't seem to be much above it. So
Ada mata, kita bernafas, dia yang punya.
let's go with the start. Okay,
Kau
let's check the front portion.
akal kau berubah-ubah.
Yep. Okay, just confirming it. Okay, so now part of the corrective EQ, let's get rid of some of the resonances. Sometimes it could be the singer's voice, about a characteristic of the voice. Sometimes it can be a combination of the mic. Sometimes it can be a combination of the room acoustics. Sometimes you hear the resonance, the reflection that's coming from the room. You never know lah, okay? So, right, so there could be many factors.
Kata kau juga bermegah.
For first one, there is a little bit of a honkiness here. Let's look for it.
Sampai bila nak jadi Tuhan.
Around.
Aku tak percaya, kudaku tumbang di medan.
Okay, lebih kurang about 840, 850 hertz, but it's a bit of a range around there, okay? So we narrow it down, take out the band solo, let's engage the dynamic EQ portion or feature of Nova. So let's go to wideband mode. Wideband is going to affect the entire frequency. Ratio 3, attack, fastest attack, release, fastest attack, because we want this dynamic EQ to engage very fast. Immediately when the problem frequency comes, we want it to deal with it already. And then as soon as the problem frequency goes away, we want the EQ to release, to let it go, so it won't be doing unnecessary coloration. So let's bring the threshold down.
Oh tak benar, kapal ternama juga ada karam.
Great, yeah. So it's removing a little bit of the that mid-range, that honky nasal kind of a frequency there.
Angin bertiup, hancur ribut melanda.
No problems with the top end, I think. But let's go to the chorus chord, right? Because part yang where he's going to sing, where the vocals are much more energetic. So let's check that out.
Kau penipu,
Okay, good.
berbicara semuanya palsu.
Good. Okay, not much of an issue. So maybe just lead a little bit.
Kau penipu.
So just a little bit.
Jangan langit lupakan Tuhan. Kau penipu.
Not about 4.3K, but sikit je, just a little bit. So this is, thankfully, is not a huge problem, right?
Buat pandai tapi kau zero. Kau penipu.
Just a little bit.
Jalan mati bila kau kenal aku.
Nice, okay, that's really good, right? So some of the loud punya vocals lah, when you get to the loud parts, okay? Let me just take a sip. So next thing I'm gonna go for is, I don't think we need this, because this is also does a similar thing. This is Smooth Operator by Baby Audio, right? It also function dia pun sama, to get rid of the harsh frequencies. So we don't need that, right? Because it's not really a big problem. So now, here we have, same thing, the virtual tape machines. And we also have here virtual mix rack. So same thing, similar thing that you saw earlier with all the other instrument on your track, except a few things that is different lah. Right, so instead of using the FG73, I'm using the Hollywood Virtual Tube Collection. And the one extra thing that I have here, this is FG Stress. This is the model of the empirical lapse stressor, and I've set this to do a parallel processing. On vocals, I love parallel processing, okay? It really gives a very transparent form of dynamic control. So it gives the it blends in the parallel processing, gives you the natural dynamics, but it still gives you the solidness of the compression lah. Okay, so parallel processing is really great on vocals. So let's engage this and see how it goes.
Kau penipu, berbicara semuanya palsu.
This is a little bit more aggressive than usual, but let me just play around with the trimmer. Let's bring this down.
Kau penipu, dengan langit lupakan Tuhan.
Okay, about 10 dB.
Kau penipu, buat pandai tapi kau zero.
So maybe this means I need to compensate here. Okay, so let's check out.
Kau penipu, jangan mati bila kau kenal aku.
Okay, let's check the pre-chorus again.
Kau bersindir, oh tak benar. Kau patah maju dada karam. Angin bertiup, hancur ribu melanda.
Okay, right. Okay, some minor issues. I think some of the right symbol information is missing, which interestingly, okay, right. Sebelum let's pause chop on the vocal first, okay? Chop. Let's go back to earlier on. I had this mana the drum ambient track, I think it was called Room Gun. Yes, okay. So let's go back to this. Let's go back to this room track and hello, where is it? Where is the room track? Where's the room track? My friends, where's the room track? Okay, not visible. Where is the room track? Okay, all right. There you go. All right. So let's enable this. Let me listen to it. Let me listen to this because the cymbals were so loud in it. So let me check and see. You know what? This is actually a right cymbal track, I think. Because it that makes sense now. It doesn't make sense that this was a room. It's ambient. So, alright. So what I think happened is this track is not labeled correctly. So it was labeled as ambient, but padahal actually this is actually a right cymbal track. So that's why it was so weird. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. Okay, so this is a right cymbal punya track. That's why. Okay, take out all the bottom. Okay, it's picking up some of that crash also, but this is what I want. Yeah. Okay, so let's check it out. Okay. Okay. Now we can hear the right, okay? All right. Okay, let's put it about that lah, about minus 10 dB. I might have to automate some of these crashes. Let's just check it out and see. Let me turn off. Yeah, okay, you're right. Not much of an issue. So let's just leave it there first. Maybe later I can automate some of the crash that kind of bleeds into the right. Okay, but this is what I want. This one. Yeah, I want that right cymbal pattern. Otherwise, it's like kalau tak ada, it's like that section just feels so weak. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, sambung cerita, back to the vocal. All right. Okay, so you will see me jumping back and forth sometimes, but mixing is like that. It's not a process yang linear. It's not that you start from A, B, C all the way to Z. Sometimes you go from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you sampai M, then tiba-tiba you can jump back to B. And suddenly from B, you suddenly jump to S, T, U, right? It's not a linear process. You go and you do whatever that you need to, okay? So back to the vocal. Where were we just now? Right, so, yeah. All right, I was talking about the FG stress and setting the right level. Okay, cool. So let me just mess around with.
Kau bersiul, oh tak benar.
Beautiful.
Kapal ternama.
Let me just go with the distortion. Let's see what kind of harmonics we can add.
Juga ada karam, angin bertiup, hancur ribut melanda. Bersiul, oh tak benar, kapal ternama. Juga ada karam, angin bertiup, hancur ribut melanda.
I think it's nice. I think it benefits from a little bit of these harmonics, but we'll listen in context with the track, okay?
Kau bersiul, oh tak benar, kapal ternama. Juga ada karam, angin bertiup, hancur ribut melanda.
Let's go with 3 first, okay? 3 is usually a little bit more aggressive, but let's try it out, okay? Right, so there we go. Parallel processing on the vocal. Next thing we're going to go is with sibilants. This is a de-esser, okay? So this is gonna be a de-esser to control, right, all the sibilants.
Kau bersiul, oh tak benar, kapal ternama. Juga ada karam, angin bertiup, hancur ribut melanda.
Okay, cool. Just a little bit, just to catch only all those S's lah, okay? Smooth operator, I think we can buang. Let's throw that. So again, let's go to chorus because that's the loudest part. Now, last thing I have on the corrective chain, this is our comp, alright? Our comp, and this is gonna do just to catch a bit of the peaks, that's all, right?
Berbicara semuanya palsu, kau penipu. Dongak langit, lupakan Tuhan, kau penipu.
Sikit je, not, that's all.
Buat pandai tapi kau zero, kau penipu. Jalan mati bila kau kenal aku.
And that's it. It's not doing more than 1 dB of gain reduction, right? 0.8, that was the maximum. This is just to control that, the very loudest peaks. And the reason why I want to do this at this stage is so that later on the second stage of the processing, where we go to the creative punya side, which we're going to go right after this, it won't make the compressors that's going to come after that, you won't force it to work too hard, right? Because sometimes if you push it too hard, you don't get very good sounding results. So just a little bit, right? You know, the tape emulation is going to apply a little bit of rounding off. Just sikit je, very subtle. Same thing, you run through the virtual tape machine, you run it through the tape and the preamp emulation, the console emulation. And then now I run it through a little bit of the RCOM. Again, not more than 1 dB here. All this, you help to smooth out, right, some of these inconsistencies and peaks, so that later on, when I add more compression later, it's not going to the compressor is not going to go crazy and act wild, right? That's the main thing. So there we go. That is the stage of corrective EQ. So next thing that I want to do, and I want to show you guys, right, very quickly, is what I call the vocal thickening trick. Kalau you are regular and you've watched this channel a lot of times, you know lah what I'm gonna do. So this is just to make the vocal, right, a little bit thicker. There are many ways of doing it, right? But the technique yang I'm going to show you is by using this plugin called Waves Doubler. Okay, I'm sending the lead vocal to Waves Doubler. So let me show you where Waves Doubler is. It's this plugin here. This is called Waves Doubler to Stereo. Okay, very cool. This is actually the default setting. You load the plugin, it gives you this setting already. And the thing is, right, what this is going to do is I'm going to export the vocal and run it through this plugin, right, a couple of times, total of 4 times lah, actually, 4 kali. And each time, each take of this, there's going to be slightly detuned, right? It's going to be slightly out of tune lah. So benda ni you can actually do with benda such as chorusing. You can use it with delays and all that. But very specifically, this method I do, right, is using this plugin called Doubler. So let's solo this so you hear how it sounds like. Can you hear it? Stereo left and right. Right, so this is what's happening, okay? So doubler +3 -3. So I am going to bounce and export this, but before that I must remember to turn off all these effects on the master, okay? So here we go. This will be, right, the first instance. And this is a good time if anybody wants to go to the toilet, grab a drink, grab some coffee or whatever. This is actually a good time. So let's export this. Okay, project audio folder. Let's call this doubler +3. And why +3? Later on, I'll explain to you, okay? So that's the first one. Let me just check on what's happening in the chat. Sorry, guys, we've got a lot of stuff going on, right? And thank you so much, everyone, for still watching, okay? Okay, questions, okay. Akmal kata, Haziq tak letih ke tu berdiri? Bagi kursi dekat Haziq, please. Okay, right. Deaf Messenger say, which is the best software to use for mixing and recording? Right, there is no best software. The best software is the one that you are comfortable, that you are most familiar with, it's the one that you use best, right? The one that you are most comfortable, you're the most familiar with, that you can work with. There's no best. There's no single best. There's no saying that Pro Tools or Cubase, which I'm using Cubase, or Logic or Ableton or Reaper, which is better. Everyone has their own opinion, their own preference. You choose, you pick your own DAW, whatever software, whatever DAW that you want to use, and you decide for yourself, okay, whatever the best. Moverva Michael, all right. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Junior Andy, Sharizon Awi, Fire. Right, Wani Razak. Satu syarah untuk kita semua. Nice lyric. Yeah, okay. As usual, man, right? Angah and Apit, these two adik-beradik ni, they are both fantastic songwriters lah. Hazril says, Happy Chinese New Year, Mr. JD. Thank you, Hazril. Sinar Mac. Okay, zoom in. Alright, okay. Junior Andy, sorry typo. Zila Arifin, hi, thank you. Thanks for the thumbs up. Jonathan, right, awesome. Thanks for tuning again. Ayi Pedrosa, V-Step, Hadir. One Akira, Adina Saraswati, right, with the rock on, guys. Jensen HR, Jensen Hadir, Jensen, is Jensen the guitarist? I'm just thinking, wondering ni. Right, so thanks for watching, okay? Terima kasih. In the meantime, kalau siapa yang belum jadi subscriber to my channel, right, I really appreciate lah, right? Mengalu-galukan, right? Jadi seorang subscriber kepada channel saya. If you berminat tentang topik yang berkaitan dengan recording, mixing, music production ni, my channel is full of stuff that's interesting. Besides this kind of a live streams, okay? So please be a subscriber, right? And also consider, right, signing up dengan patrons. But patron ni also pun ada banyak perks and benefits, okay? Right. We do one-on-one mentoring punya sessions, like do one-on-one tutorial sessions dengan sesiapa yang sign up to become patron subscribers, okay? So let's do next one. So we dah bounce out one. The next one I'm going to do is -6 and +6, okay? So we're going to detune it a little bit further. But also one thing that you want to pay attention is that I have changed the position of the positive and the negative values now. So the reason I do that is because if you just biar one side all positive value, when you export and when you play back, satu belah, one side is going to sound sharp, another side is going to sound flat. That's going to be very, very weird, okay? So every time we export, we're going to switch over the positive and the negative punya value. So that's the reason why we do that lah. So let's bounce this second one. Right, thank you so much guys for watching. Pukul berapa sekarang? Oh, we're coming up to about 11 o'clock. Not too bad, not too bad. Now, one thing also, you are not going to see the full mixing process of the entire song lah, right? Now, usually at the end of the stream, I would reach probably, I would say maybe about 80% of the way, right? Because the main elements like the rhythm section, the vocals, semua akan kaltim. Everything will be there. But benda ni, there's a lot of fine tuning that's going to be done. a lot of fine tuning, a lot of automation. Benda ni I usually tak boleh show on the bukan tak boleh, tak dapat and tak mampu because right, benda ni memang makan masa. I have to go through one by one, right, to each line, each vocal, go to betul-betul fine tune all the different parts, adjust the volume and do all the automations. I can show you some rough automation that I'll do, right, but all the fine tune benda ni memang makan masa, okay? So I don't show you that. If not, we're gonna be here until siang pagi lah, okay? All right. So usually I will do this later off the stream. I'll just show you all the guys, all of you, the highlight of what we do. So second one is still bouncing. Yep, second one. There's a good questions, okay? All right. Terima kasih, right? Thank you so much for all your good questions there. So it's coming up to 11. So we were hanging around here for about 1 hour 45 minutes, I suppose. Coming up to 2 hours. That's pretty good. That's pretty okay. Sebab biasanya, right, some live streams takes up to 3-4 hours sometimes, right? So of course I understand if you can't, right, stay around and watch the whole thing. So let's go to +9 and -9 right now. Say next one. Okay, as you can see, right? Okay, here there's 2. So kita buat lagi satu, one more. And total we're gonna go up to 4 times, okay? So this trick ni, now again, there's many ways of doing it. You can use other plugins, you can use chorus plugins. There are some other doubler plugins out there that's available also. This is just one way of doing it lah. All right, we're just trying to sort of emulate what one of the hardware effects programs, hardware effects units used to do. So there's actually a video on my channel. There's a tutorial. So you want to really go to in depth and see how I do it, right? It's actually inside my channel tutorial. Okay, right. Let's see. Thank you so much, right? Everyone who's still sticking around and still hanging around here. Please do leave a like, okay? If you watching this video, share this with your friends, right? Invite other people to come in on the live chat. Ramai orang yang new viewers and newcomers to the stream tonight. I suppose this is all fans of Projector Band lah, okay? Projector Band, right? You guys know they are right one of the biggest bands right in the Malaysian music scene ever since they came back in 2016. The bio information, I think you know lah. So I don't need to actually explain it here. So mungkin whilst I'm bouncing this thing, I'm nak say terima kasih juga. Alright, I want to thank Projector Band for sebab sudi untuk featurekan lagu single yang mereka akan keluar tak lama lagi, to be featured on this live stream, okay? Because not every artist or every band wants their music to leak out, so to speak. Right, sebab dia nak keep it surprise kan, nak keep it secret. But hey, this one hopefully, right, you guys watch it, you guys akan dapat, appreciate the kerja keras, you appreciate the hard work that the band has put in, right, in terms of their songwriting, the recording. Apa yang you see, what you guys see tonight, what I show you during the in all the mixing work that I do, is just a little bit je, sikit je. Right, it's just a tiny percentage of all the hard work that goes in. Okay, last one. Okay, this is doubler -12. Right, this is +/- 12 cents lah. All right. So I don't go more than that because when you start going to +/- 15, 18, 20 plus, the pitch is going to lari already. It's going to sound like it's out of tune. So you just want a little bit of detuning just to make it a little bit fat. Okay, so we'll see how. Actually, guys, right, this is going to take about 1 minute 50 seconds. Right, let me just run quickly to the restroom. So don't go anywhere, okay? I'll be back. Jangan pergi mana-mana. All right, I'm back. Just a quick visit to the washroom. 40 seconds more, then I'll show you the next thing. Okay. Yeah, by the way, I wonder how many of you guys, berapa ramai of you folks out there are actually, from KKB, because some of you just now, right, during our little chit chat, was introducing, say, you guys are from KKB, some from all the way from Terengganu. Okay, cool. Let's proceed. Let's continue. All right, so we have now got 4 tracks of this doubler. So apa yang kita perlu buat sekarang is to let's get out of the track. Let's go back to the stereo bus and remember to turn all this on. And jom, let's listen to this, okay? So let me pull these up and let me play that for you so you guys can hear what it sounds like lah, right? Okay, lead vocal ni, back to the lead vocal group. Okay, and I'm going to solo this so you guys can hear. So this is what the doubler effects sounds like. So 4 tracks of detuned doublers, okay? So this is going to be, apa yang kita buat with these doubler tracks is we're going to blend it with the lead vocal. So it's going to just be subtle, right? Because this is rock anyway. With rock, you don't want to make it sound terlalu pop. So we want to give it a bit of rawness. So this is just going to blend in with the lead vocal. Okay, so let's check it out.
Kau berubah-ubah, kata kau juga bermegah, sampai bila nak jadi Tuhan.
I think that's good, yeah? Not too much. So this is going to give it a little bit of fatness, give the vocal, dia akan, tebal sikit, a little bit fatter, slightly wider, okay? Alright, so this is really, really good, right? Okay, so now, one of the great things about doing this, you're wondering why JD, you go and bounce down into audio and all that, it's like banyak kerja lah, it's a lot of hard work. It gives me a bit of flexibility because now I can EQ the doubler track. So I want to take out a little bit of the bottom. Alright, and some of these frequencies which I don't need. Alright, that 1K I don't need. Okay, and just maybe just a little bit of that 4K. It's not. It's really not an issue, okay? So maybe, maybe his voice doesn't have that problem there, right? Or maybe you just got a good combination of found the right mic for his sound lah. So here we go. Let's all right, let's go over here. Let's link the selected channel. Okay, let's link of it all up. So then kita dengar, see.
Takkan ku rebat, akal kau berubah-ubah.
Yeah, so a little bit wider. You hear a little bit of that modulation kind of going on, right? So let's check it out. Yeah, let's go.
Akal kau berubah-ubah, kata kau juga bermegah, sampai bila nak jadi Tuhan.
It's very good, okay? I really like that the sibilances are all pretty in control. So, let's continue. Remember I said earlier on it was the corrective processing. Sekarang we're going to go into the creative processing side, okay? Here we go.
Akal kau berubah-ubah.
Okay, first thing I'm going to do, right, another compressor. So this is going to, again, squeeze out more energy from the vocal. Okay.
Kata kau juga bermegah, sampai.
Let's go with the chorus, again, the most energetic part of the song.
Kau penipu, berbicara semuanya palsu. Kau penipu, dongak langit, lupakan Tuhan. Kau penipu,
Bypass.
Buat pandai tapi kau zero.
Very nice, okay? Good energy there. I like it, all right? Do I need a little bit of this de-esser? Second one? No, probably not. So let's go to drop in a little bit of the pull tech. Okay, so now I'm adjusting this EQ into the compressor. So let's check it out.
Kau penipu.
I'll take out a little bit of the 20K. So bandwidth, let's go with the broadest bandwidth. Frequency about 3 kilohertz.
Berbicara semuanya palsu. Kau penipu. Dengan
5K.
langit lupakan Tuhan. Kau penipu.
Bypass. Okay, we're gonna listen to in context, okay? Listen in context.
Kau bersiul, oh tak benar. Kapal ternama juga dah karam. Angin bertiup, hancur ribut melanda. Jaga-jaga, ada mata. Kita bernafas, dia yang punya. Satu syahadah untuk kita semua. Kau penipu.
Nice.
Berbicara semuanya palsu.
Very good. Okay, like it. I like it a lot. So let's go. Do I need the de-esser? Feels like it doesn't need it, okay? So let's just skip that for the moment. Okay, what do we need more? Okay, you can see there are actually a few other plugins that I have here in the creative side. Tapi I tak pakai lah, I'm not using, okay? So what I want to use next is Vocal Rider. So this is same like the bass rider earlier, just now. So this one is tuned more, right? Targeted more for vocals, okay? Let's adjust the range so that it's a little bit bigger first. And same thing, let's set the target.
Bersiul, oh tak benar. Kapal ternama juga dah karam. Angin bertiup, hancur ribut melanda.
Very cool. Okay, so this one, right, it's making the vocals super consistent. And let's turn the output down.
Jaga-jaga, ada mata. Kita bernafas.
Okay, maybe a little bit of the de-esser lah, okay? Just a little bit, okay?
Oh tak benar. Kapal ternama juga dah karam. Angin bertiup, hancur ribut melanda.
Some words still maybe a little bit.
Jaga-jaga, ada mata. Kita bernafas.
Okay, this second line here, the ja and the mata, the ta, right? Mungkin a little bit.
Dia yang punya.
Okay, right. Okay, there are many ways of dealing with it. I may later on again fine-tuning the time when it comes to fine-tune. Maybe, you know, I'll just do a little edit, right? Just a bit of a small little fade just to control some of the sibilance lah. Okay, these are things I'll fine-tune later.
Satu syahadah untuk kita semua.
Very cool. Okay, now time for some effects. Let's add some vocal effects, okay? I got my dynamics, everything nicely done. Let's add a bit of effects. So first thing, I want to put the vocal into a nice sounding room. I use that using Super Tap. Super Tap is a delay. It's actually a delay, but this is just going to give me a single reflection of the vocal. So seolah-olah it's inside a nice sounding room lah, and a wood room to be specific, because right, I'll have this EQ section to filter out everything above 1.5K. So here we go. Just solo the vocal, and then you hear it.
Kau bersiul, oh tak benar.
You can hear
Kapal
that is what
ternama.
Super Tap is doing, right? It's putting it into a room. Tapi yang tu, this is a bit too much lah. So let's moderate it down a little bit so you just hear it.
Juga dah karam, angin bertiup, hancur ribut melanda.
Okay, this gives the vocal a little bit of 3D space, okay?
Jaga-jaga, ada mata.
Very good. Next one is, let's add a mono delay. This is, again, give more space. This will be front back, okay? Mono delay. Let's add
Kita bernafas.
solo it again.
Bersiul, oh tak benar. Kapal ternama juga ada karam, angin
So this is a mono
bertiup
delay.
hancur.
It's going to give you going to give the vocal a bit of the front and back, right? A bit of depth, front and back.
Ribut melanda.
Okay, I might want to just duck it a little bit. Let's apply a little bit of ducking. Right, ducking here. Ducking means that when the vocal signal is there, right, it also brings the delay down, right? So dia takkan clash lah. Very good. Okay, let's listen to this.
Akal kau berubah-ubah, kata kau juga bermegah, sampai bila nak jadi Tuhan.
Okay, so this is where I say I'm going to do a little bit of this automation. Okay, so this first verse dengan first pre-chorus ni, right, because the instrumentation dia tak banyak sangat, we need to bring it down by about dB. Okay.
Kau juga bermegah, sampai bila nak jadi Tuhan.
Okay, and then this pre-chorus.
Sungguh aku tak percaya, kudaku tumbang di medan, biarpun racun berbisa, takkan ku rebah.
Okay, very cool. So when it gets to second verse, dengar dulu. Okay, right here where the drums and everything is back full on, right? This lead vocal have to, right? So I have to automate it up by about 1 dB lah. Nice. So, right. So when it goes into the chorus, chorus is of course part that is the meant to be the hook of the song, kan? The part where everybody is going to sing along, part yang, you know, the highlight of the song is the chorus. So we want to make the chorus bigger, we want to make everything more dynamically, more interesting. One of the ways that we do it, okay, is automation is one thing. There's banyak technique lah, layering, there's automation. But what we're going to do here is we're going to add a stereo delay. So in the verse pre-chorus, you can see it's a mono delay. And I'm going to automate this stereo delay here. So this stereo delay akan kick in when we get into the chorus. Okay, so let's arm this. Okay, you can see it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, you can sort of hear the delay tail, right? Okay, right. So kita akan, let's edit some of this first. Let's adjust some of the parameters. First of all, offset 0. Let's unlink the feedback. And the delay time for, because this is a stereo delay, I'm going to set slightly different delay times for the left-right channel, okay? Right channel, put it to dotted note delay. Alright, okay, but because this is dotted, right, it's going to be a longer delay, I need to adjust the feedback. So the feedback for the left, I'm going to bring it up, usually about just under 40%. Because if not, when the delay tail is happening, the one that is longer akan, you know, is going to delay tail to one side. So it's not balanced lah. So let's check out how it sounds. Right. So in the chorus, they are kind of kick in. Okay. Mono. Then now you got the stereo. So that's where we get the dynamics from, right? So the chorus suddenly becomes more interesting, the vocal becomes wider, there's a lot more motion going on, right? Then it captures the attention of the listener lah and the pendengar lah. Alright, we got someone there. Faizal. Hi Faizal Zaki. Terima kasih. Thanks for tuning in to do this stream, man. Thank you so much for coming in. Faizal, you tengah menonton dari mana? Where are you from? Okay, let me just adjust the level of this. Yep, just nice, okay? Let me see. Mungkin kan, maybe. Actually, in the chorus might be a little bit too loud now. But again, wait first. synth, all the other stuff is not in yet. So set and don't forget, let's go on with it, okay?
Buat pandai tapi kau zero, kau penipu. Jalan mati bila kau kenal aku.
Okay, I suspect later on during this aku, I'm probably gonna do maybe a long delay throw lah, okay? Right, typical lah, okay? So, same thing, let's disengage the stereo delay. So, when it's the verse pre-chorus, sama mono. Then when it kicks back into the chorus one more time, okay, right. Okay, stereo delay again. So, every time we masuk chorus, we have the stereo delay. So, let's check this part out. This is actually the long out.
Sejak bersama orang ini takkan pernah pupus.
I love the delivery at this, the outro.
Jadi gila, terlalu kejarkan dunia. Dendam di hatimu buat kau gila. Kau ambil semua, bukan kau punya.
Hey, tiba-tiba ada solo line. Oh, it's from here.
Cara permainan kau aturkan mudah ku paham. Kau
Hey,
membela
this song is like lebih 6 minit, 6 minit, right? But who cares? Peduli apa? It's rock and roll, man.
dunia mungkin kau lepas.
Okay, so I think this whole section at the end, I just biar the stereo delay on, okay? Because this is like, you know, all the impact lah, you know, the climax of the song lah. So check out this back portion.
Kau bertopeng,
Yep,
kau bertopeng.
yep. Okay, this part ni I just biarkan je. In fact, I will probably even add more delays, you know, like a long kind of a stereo, long kind of a mono delay. But the bang, 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 that sort of thing, okay? So just biar je, okay? Let's leave this stereo chorus, stereo delay all the way on. Okay, cool. Okay, this little section, okay, just for fun, let's just check this out first. This is a scream. These guys are really trying something different, man. So let's go with vocal limiter. That's usually what I do for screams. Let's check it out.
Bertopeng, pembelot.
Whew. This is not what you expect from Projector Band, man. Right, but this is super, super cool. Right. Yeah, this is kind of going into metalcore already. Hey, but with this metalcore performance, this is how you can get international, lah. Alright. Oh, what in the hell was that? Okay, alamak. Okay, this is a trial version. While the demo is fully functional, you hear white noise every few seconds. Okay, right. So let's get rid of it. I have the license. I'm gonna have to go and activate. So tak apa. Let's just go out. Okay, let's just go. I'll do it some other time. So there is another one. Actually, it's actually based on the L1 limiter. So L1 limiter. Come on. There you go. That's the right one. Okay, so this will be voice broadcast. So let's check it out. Okay. So L1 is very good on vocals actually. So it's actually very useful for controlling level.
Bertopeng, pembelot.
Look at it, man. Awesome, man. They have this scream. Okay.
Bertopeng,
Okay, take out some of the top end. You don't need all the super, super high end. Okay, listen in context again. Okay, very cool. So this one we will need. Okay, put it in the room again. Okay, but this one, what it really, really needs is it needs a delay to it. Okay, so let's go with just a simple H delay mono. 2, 3. Let's go with the tempo. Okay, so let's go with about quarter note? No, half note, okay? Half note. Let's adjust the dry, wet. Check it out. Let's see. Okay, let's go with lo-fi mode. Alright, super cool. It's a bit of reverb to this. Let's just drop in a little plate. A little bit of reverb. Okay, because this one usually lah screams dia kena ada ambient sikit. Otherwise it sounds very dry. Okay, kurangkan the feedback maybe to about 20. Right, 20. Okay, now I know why. The high pass filter also, we have to mess around with this. Let's go to about 200. Let's take everything out above 3K, okay? 2.5K, 3K also can lah. Boleh lah. Yeah. Okay, so there you go. That's the scream. Okay, so now kita gerak to the BVs. Okay, BVs, backing vocals, alright? So I'm not sure who does it. It sounds like Anga's voice, alright? Okay, can't mistake that Anga's voice, I think, if I'm not, kalau tak silap lah. Okay, so this is the BVs. BVs are super simple. Similar kind of signal path I have, a little bit simpler, but I still have this parallel processing happening lah. Okay, so let's just solo the BV part. Okay.
Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda.
Okay, very good. Right. So this one, let's EQ.
Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda. Angin bertiup
Just a little bit.
hancur ribu melanda. Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda. Angin bertiup
About 3.3, just a little bit lah.
hancur ribu melanda.
Skate je, just needs a little bit. So let's copy this setting over to BV2 and let's go hard left, hard right. Let's see how it goes, okay? So all the BVs are gonna go into this BV group. Kita check dulu.
Kau bersini, oh tak benar. Kapal ternam maju dada karam. Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda. Angin bertiup.
Okay, cool. So, right, this little level here, I think just need to play around with a little bit of the gain.
Oh tak benar. Kapal
Okay, right. So instead of hard left, hard right, I rasa 50-50 je. Right. Otherwise, it sounds very boy bandish. So we want to keep it a little bit more, the vocals a bit more to the middle lah. Alright.
oh tak benar. Kapal ternam maju dada karam. Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda.
Very cool. Okay. So with BVs, let's drop in what I have usually processing for the BVs. Group BVs. Same thing with TDR Nova, but I don't really need it lah, I think. But what I have is this FG2A. This is an LE2A compressor.
Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda. Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda.
Okay, when I double it, then might hear a little bit of the 3K 4K region. So let's deal with that first.
Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda.
That's about 2.7 2.8K actually. So this one just you go with the default value lah, right? 2:2, okay? Because yang ni does not need to be that aggressive.
Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda. Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda.
See, it's only on the tiup,
Angin
Tiup.
bertiup hancur ribu melanda.
hancur re, right? Is at that frequency lah. Those suku kata, then only the problem comes up, right?
Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda.
Okay, very cool. Now let's drop in again. I find this again very useful. Vocal rider, even on BVs, just to keep it very, very smooth and even lah. Very cool. Let's check out the LA2A again.
Angin bertiup hancur
Okay, so this gain now sekarang kena adjust, okay?
ribu melanda. Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda. Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda. Jaga-jaga ada mata kita bernafas. Dia yang punya satu syahadah untuk kita semua.
Very cool. Okay, so these BVs are also going to go with some same stereo delay. BV, just straightforward. Just send it to the stereo delay only. Okay, so let's check it out.
Oh tak benar.
Very cool. There you go.
Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda.
Okay, mungkin I need to do a little bit of editing later because now I hear one thing here. The hancur. So the chur is not same, right? You can see angin bertiup hancur. So the problem is you boleh dengar cucur, right? So that's going to be an issue. Okay, or actually there's an easy way to do it, right? Let's use the auto align feature that's in Cubase. Okay, let me show you how it is. So kita ambil the lead vocal up here. We use this as the alignment reference. Okay, add selection. Okay, condense real time effects. We got the bounce. Yes, okay. And then kita letak the target. The target is this, the BV. Okay, BV1. So match words, right? Prefer time shifting. Let's go for 99%, 100% lah. Let's go. Align audio. Let's see how it goes. Macam mana? Does it work better now?
Tiup hancur ribut melanda.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot better. So let's do the same thing. Kita auto align one more time. This time with the BV2. Let's go. Kita align. Align audio. Let's check it out.
Tiup hancur ribut melanda.
A lot better. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. Okay, so maybe later on I will just manually lah adjust lah, because the hancur, the consonant sound, the chur sound there, the transient and the sibilants is a bit too obvious. Okay, so later on need to adjust. Very cool. Okay, let's go to now to the chorus. We have this gang vocal. Very cool. Right, so we got these 4 tracks here. Let's check out what the first one is. I think let's check out the first one. These are all gang vocals. I think 3 and 4 is, yeah, so 1 is the high, male. Lagi satu is the low. So let's deal with the high ones first. Same thing, I would just, for any vocal, right, I'll just go through my parallel processing chain. Okay, so let's loop. Take out, donate out the bond. Okay, so because ada banyak suara, a lot of voices here, sometimes, you know, you get a bit of build up. So ooh, that's a bit loud, okay? All right, especially the peak here. So let's cut that out. Okay, now there's a little bit. At about 5.4K, so kita buang there. that's great. Okay, so let's copy this to number 2, right, which is the same thing, the high one. Okay, kita link. Let's blend it in. Very nice. Okay, 7.5. So sekarang let's go with the low male voices. Let's check it out. So don't need the bottom man. Okay, right. Some unwanted notes. About 980, we don't need that. And 4.2K. Okay, copy the settings over to gang 3 and gang 4. Okay, now for the lower frequency stuff, like the low males, we keep it a little bit more to the center, right? Because of the nature of frequency waves, right? If you want your image to be wide, we keep all the higher frequency stuff out to the sides, and you to be more solid, more center, we keep all the lower frequency elements closer to the middle. Okay, so that's why the high gang vocals, hard left, hard right, the mid ones, right, towards the middle, 50-50. Okay, now let's check out in context. Okay, so now for my gang vocals, I have this particular process, right, which is called group choir. It's actually the same as the BVA, but yang I tambah is just one thing. It is extra thing here, just a little plate vocal. So let's check this first. Let's bypass the reverb first. Very good. And now we can include the EMT 140. This is a plate reverb, so let me check the. Let's bring the mix, the dry wet balance. Maybe a little bit shorter. Bring the gain up. Maybe this can be. So maybe let's bring the lows down lah. Okay, right, just a little bit loud, because the lows are just there to give a bit of body je. Okay, right, cool. Let's stick with the chorus first. We skip this little choir part. Let's stick with the chorus. Let's bring in some of the other instruments. So first of all, the other satu lead synth. Let's check it out. Yeah, okay, this is a little like a kind of a square wave kind of thing. So same thing. Okay, let's go with this. Okay, let me pull. Where's my FG stressor? There is a good setting here, which is for synth leads. Okay, so let's just blend it in. Okay. Cool. All right. Very cool. So let's just blend this in. Check it out. Okay, just a little bit there. Okay, kita just blend in all these things first lah. Okay. Let's go with synth chorus, if I'm not mistaken. This is more like a... okay, right. So this is maybe plays a more important... So this one, I think, same thing. Let's load in the... Load in that, but this one will need something a bit more aggressive to bring this out. So yes, this is called the monster. Okay, let's try it out. Let's check the... Very cool. All right, so there we go. The synth chorus. Kita check out what is this bell. Very nice. Okay, very sweet. Okay, this one will benefit from using MV2. Again, MV2 is so versatile, man. So especially anything that has kind of a plucked or kind of a bell tones. In fact, can use on so many things lah. Okay, this is going to keep the sustain and just even out all the thing. It brings out more sustain. Okay, I'm just going to slightly compress the top. Okay, kita just blend this in and see. Oh, okay. Kenapa that's why no sound? We're still muted. Okay, but when it gets to some of the high notes, it may clash with the vocals, so just EQ out a little bit. And also, I rasa you got to just give it a little bit of reverb just to push it a little bit back lah. Kalau tak, it's got reverb in it already, but it's just to soften the sound a little bit, okay? Right, soften the sound, as in bagi the sound lagi lembut. Yeah, okay? Quite a lot of reverb here. Yeah, I need to bring it up a little bit. So, kita tengok the lead synth, So maybe this gonna give me space. I'm gonna put the lead synth to the left. Okay, so now when I listen to everything in context, then only it makes sense. This lead synth actually kind of plays together with the bell, so maybe the bell just needs to be down a little bit, then the lead synth will come in and it kind of interplays around with it, so they both work together. Okay, so there is this bell which is more of an attack bell, I think. Yeah, just to give a bit of definition there. Bit more. More. Yeah, okay, right. Just a little bit of that weight there lah. So then baru this little synth chorus pattern. Then this one will go to the hard right. Okay, right. So now bila I've added a bit more stuff, I find that the stereo delay might not be enough. So we can just bring it up by about a dB.
Buat pandai tapi kau zero, kau penipu.
Very cool, very cool. Let's check out some of this stuff. Okay, right. So here, this part, this lead scene here, we can keep it center. Okay, right. Okay, automate. So then bila masuk ke chorus, it will. Alright, super cool. So that's what we'll do.
Bisa takkan ku lupa.
Alright, so I think for the rest of the song, we just biar the thing on fully left lah. Okay? Right, so let's check out this bell.
Ribu melanda. Jaya-jaya.
Okay, alright, so this part dia mungkin kuat sikit. A bit too loud.
Kapal terbang maju dalam karam, angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda. Jaya-jaya agama.
Okay, then automate back up.
Tak bernafas, dia yang punya.
Okay, so that when it goes back to the chorus, dia balik to the original volume level lah. Okay, bila kat chorus, it is minus 16.5. And before that, we're sitting at about minus 20 dB. Okay, minus 20 dB. So all this is very rough, okay? Rough settings Zulu. Okay, all the broad punya strokes. Because later on only we need to fine tune all this lah. Okay, mana pula? Let's look at this little piano. What is this? Okay, it's just a little piano chord, I think. Is this cut too short again? Yeah, it is cut a little bit too short. The thing is, I think the guy should have just let the chord sustain, and then I can fade it out. But that's fine. It's not a problem. Not a big deal. All right, let's just blend it in first. I'll probably just put a reverb.
Kau penipu. Kau penipu. Berbicara semuanya palsu. Kau penipu.
Okay, yeah. So that piano is just there to give a bit of bump depth to it lah. All right. Okay, very cool. Now, when I hear this, I realize that this is going to need a bit of FG2A lah. Piano will need a little bit of this to give it a bit more density. Okay, cool. Let's listen to that. Okay, very cool. Let's go. Okay, some of this stuff kita biarkan dulu. Let's just leave it there first. In fact, since we're here, let's go to this choir thing. Check it out. All right. So low. So I think this is. Let's check. Okay, 4 lows and. Yeah, so there's other 8 tracks. So the 4 which is low and 4 which is high. So let's start with the low one first. Excuse me. Same thing here. Alright. Lou Lawson. War Red. I'm not sure who you are, man. Are you a bot, Lou? But anyway, if you are, welcome. Okay, let's check that out. Okay, let's solo the thing. Okay, it's you have this at about 970. and about 4.6, just a little bit. Let's turn all the highs down first. So these are all the low R's, the low choir. Okay, kita link. Let's link everything together. Let's pan left 25. So these will kind of take up the middle. Okay, very cool. So let's check out the high one. Same thing. So around 4K region, this one need a slightly wider cue. Alright, okay, got it. Let's copy the settings over. Copy to all the R's. Okay, so once again, since this is the high parts, we can afford to pan them out a little bit to the sides, okay? So about full max and there. Okay, link. Let's link it up and check it out. Okay, so this is, if I'm not mistaken, it is going to the same, let me just check. Okay, it is going to the same gang box, but looks like needs more reverb. Let's bring the choir section needs a little bit more mix of the reverb. Okay, and also it is a bit imbalanced to the left, which means some of the tracks is louder. Yeah, and we can sort of see it already, so let's compensate, okay? Let's see what's this. Oh, hang on a second. Actually, my bad. So actually, there's only two highs. Oh, okay, right. So it's actually a three-part harmony. So luckily I checked. Right, so these two are fine, right? These two are the highs. So let's blend it. Okay, and then we have this mid range part. Okay, so this one will go 75, 75. Let's link the two parts together. Then we blend it. Well, it's technically it's a unit. It's all octaves apart. But yeah, you know, it's 3 octaves lah, right? Same. All right, okay. Let's check. Let's check what else is happening. It's a little quiet. Okay, ARP synth. Alright, okay, right. I need to deal with this later on, okay? Let's check out the solo now. Okay, this one needs a little bit more. I am tempted, but I can't discuss this with the band or solo. I may use, some samples from my VSC libraries, the choir samples, just to reinforce that. Because to really recreate a choir, right, you need a group. To really authentically recreate a choir, lah. You need a group, or you really need a lot of tracks. I think you've seen it before. You know how we dealt with this. I think it was an episode where Mixed and Honest Mistakes singles, the previous ones. So they did a lot of tracks. They got a lot of other people to send in their tracks as well. So just having 8 here is not really enough to get the choir thing going. It still sounds like individual groups of people lah. But okay, no worries. At least I know the intention, so there is something that can be done to deal with it. Let's go with the solo. Okay, let's check out the solo section. All right, let's drop in again. Let's check. Okay, you can take out some of the bottom. Okay, very cool, very dry as mentioned earlier. Okay, so that's okay. That's fine. They gave me some dry tracks to work with. It's okay, not a problem. Okay, right. Solos. I love to use MV2 again on solos, because again this will bring up a little bit more of the energy. It brings out a little bit of the pick attack and the definition of the notes. Especially on those fast notes, it brings out a little bit of the pick attack. Okay, cool. Let's put it to another section of the solo. Okay, this back portion here is kind of more like a... Okay, never mind. Let's focus. So the solo is more here. Okay, what do I like to put in solos? First thing I like to put, this is called Multiply by Akon. Akon Digital Vintage Lead. This is kind of a chorus doubling effect. Again, you don't have to use this. There's so many different plugins which also do the same thing. Just a little bit of modulation to give it a bit of... Just to give it a bit of width to it lah. Okay, that's basically all it does. And what else do I want to add to? So let's add a bit of... Now for this one, let's go with Baby Audio's Baby Come Back. This is a bit of a delay. So let's go with Ping Pong. Ping Pong feedback. Let's bring the feedback down. Let's go with an analog delay. So let's go with straight note. Check it out and see. Let's go with maybe a slightly longer. A bit more. So same thing. I think this needs a bit of reverb. Okay, so for this one, I would go with the Liquid Sonics Lustrous Plate, just to give... Yeah, it needs just a little bit more reverb because it's very, very dry sounding, okay? And with the guitar one, I kind of like to go with... Let's go with the Enlightenment setting first. Let's check it again. Okay, right. So let's get rid of this ping pong effect first. This delay seems to be a little heavy on the left side. So let's not go with this. Let's go with something a good old tried and tested one, which is the EP.34. This is from UAD. This is emulating the Echoplex. Alright, so let's go with quarter note delays, take out some of the bass. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a little bit better. Let's reduce some of the repeats. This is a bit more analog. Yeah, let's see how it sits. Still does not feel wide enough. I want the stereo effect, right, to that. So maybe let's go instead with Cooper Time Cube, right? There's always options, okay? Cooper Time Cube. Okay, let's just still keep that there. Let's just pile on the delay only lah, okay? Let's echo volume, delay, and sync. Yes, let's sync. Let's go with quarter notes, and let's go with 8-note dotted. Let's check it out. Yeah, okay, this is much better, more like it. Turn out a bit of a treble. I want it to be warmer. Okay, this is more like it. Alright, so let's bring the solo up. Okay, cool. So it's at least it's got a little bit more width to the delay. Bring the echo volume up. Yeah, okay, so now it's a little bit more interesting in terms of the motion, okay? So let's copy over the solo harmony. The harmony parts don't need that much bottom end. In fact, don't need much bottom end, don't need much top end. Okay, and there's another second harmony line here. So let's check it out. Where should this go? Let's send this to the left. Okay, this part's a little loud, okay? Let's turn this all down. So these should maybe go down about 7 dB, 7.5 dB for now. Again, guys, these are all rough. I need some more rough punya automation move dulu, okay?
Sungguh aku tak percaya, kudaku tumbang di medan, biarpun racun berbisa kau bersiul, oh tak benar kau jaga-jaga.
All right. Okay, right. So all these parts ni memang gonna need a lot of automation to all the solo leads, okay? So I'm not gonna show this to you because it's gonna take too long. Okay, let's move on the other parts first. Synth breakdown. very, very cool. Let's solo this. Right. This is almost like a trance kind of synth. Very good. Okay, very nice. This one needs some. It needs a little bit of a cleanish kind of. Something like an LA3A will do a good job. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, right. Just roughly, just to control it. Haha, okay, very, very interesting. Very cool. Let's go back to this ARP synth. Okay, this is also going to similarly need something like that synth lah. So let's go with, in fact, let's go with 4K drums first. And this one will go with, where is FG Stress? FG Stress makes me very stressed. Okay, let's go with synth lead. Woohoo, hello. Okay, that's very loud. I want to drive and saturate this a little bit, and let's see how it sounds, okay? Let's see. Okay. One more time. ARP synth. Very cool. Okay, now, yeah, so now this is more control. And a bit more saturated. So, yeah. Cool. Because this is happening during the solo, this one, I think I will want to do something. I want to like... Yeah, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to just automate this, make it move left, right a little bit, okay? 2, 3, 4... F. Let's see. Let's try this. Okay, so this is just going to automate so that it will move left to right. I rasa maybe this. Okay, right. So by the end of 2 bars, it should reach here. It should reach the right, and then it will pan back to the left. Let's check it out and see how it sounds. Roughly. Because no point in putting it in the middle. When you put it in the middle, it's gonna just clash with the solo. Just to give interesting motion to it lah. Alright, that's what this ARP synth is doing, okay? It's not supposed to take attention away from that. Phew, okay, what else do we have? Okay, so all these vocals are there, it's done. This little organ part, let's leave it for the end. Let's check out these strings. Okay, strings. Now, we've got a lot of string parts here, like violin, viola, cello, cello parts, spiccato parts, orchestral hits, pizzicato parts as well. So for strings, what I like to do is this little setting, this little piece. Still go to a virtual tape machine, but with Virtual Mix Rack, instead of the 4000, I go with the API, which is clean, and the virtual drive, I keep it minimal. I want this to be as clean as possible, alright, because the strings don't really want to make it dirty most of the time. But the key thing here is C4, Wave C4 stereo. This is set to an upward compression setting. So basically, it's upper compression is actually expansion lah. It means that the low level stuff is going to be brought up. So dia tak akan hilang, it's not going to get lost. And kind of overall just make sure that no particular frequency range jumps out too much. So there's a lot of work to do with these strings, okay? So bear in mind, we're just going to breeze through it very quickly. So let's solo this. Okay, let's go to this section. Okay, with the violins, you don't need too much for the bottom. Okay, but you hear some. About 2K, 2.2K, a bit of annoying stuff there. And with these, you don't really need all the super high end. So like you can really start rolling off at about 12K lah. Okay, let's check the violin long. Is this the same thing? Okay, right. Can pretty much use the same thing. Yeah. It's also got that same that little also around the 2K range. It's probably using the same same patch, but this one, let's go for a wider Q. Let's check out violin short. What is this violin short doing? So it's just doing. Okay, so it's kind of just doing that, huh? If it's doing that, let me figure out. What can we do to? Okay, right now for track management purposes, I'm going to drop it here. So we're not going to end up having too many tracks to handle lah. Right, especially this violin short. It seems to be doing and fulfilling the same purpose there. So I'm going to drop it into this string track. So these strings are happening in the... So this is happening in the chorus. So let's blend this in. Solo strings. Don't need all this bottom end. So there is this. So it seems to be 2.2K. It's either maybe the VST or sample library that's being used has that characteristic in them. So you gotta be aware of it lah. So see, this string line is actually doing what the bell and the strings are actually kind of playing in unison. So that works really nicely. Okay, now let's set up the string group first. So again, all of the strings are all being sent to a single group. String group. Then same thing. Similarly, I have a particular treatment which I like. Again, any 2A just to smoothen things out. And same EMT 140. Okay, let's check it out first. That's much better. Turn on the EMT 140. Nice. Okay, just a little touch of the... This is just to kiss the strings a little tiny bit. Very nice. Okay, so see, it's kind of blending in right now. It's a lot better. Okay, now then we move to apa? What is next? Apa yang seterusnya? Viola. This viola part. Okay, let's check it out. Oops, I accidentally pressed that. Okay, let's go back to mix strings, solo the viola. And it's got a lot of this excessive, very high frequencies, which you don't really need. It's got some notes there, which may be a bit buried, but let's see lah. Okay, all this gonna need to solo it. I'm not sure why is the volume so soft, right? But yeah, this means just a bit more automation on my side lah. Okay, let's go with cello. Okay, these cellos are doing. Okay, all these sound like cellos. They sound like violas, so they sound like cellos, right? Okay. Okay. It's an annoying 2.3K over there. And about 1.7 also. Okay, right. Okay, with cellos, let's pan them to. Let's try them again. Okay, right, so cellos will be on the right hand side because that's where they traditionally go. So let's check out this second cello part. This is like an octave higher. Do we really need this? Cello's not going to play so high, you know. Okay, I'm going to make a decision here and not use this. Okay, let's see. Let me just listen to what's this. So some of the other spiccato parts. Alright, okay. I'm going to pull an executive. I'm going to like make a decision. This is sometimes in mixing. Not every track that is sent to you necessarily needs to end up on a mix. This is a very important lesson I've learned, okay? Doesn't mean that every single part that's sent to you needs to be featured, needs to be heard, needs to be audible. Sometimes if things just don't work with the rest of the elements of the mix, just mute it, right? And in this case, this cello track, this second cello track is basically an octave above what the cello is playing, which is not really in the real proper register of the cello anyway. You're going to be playing way up higher the cello. It's not going to be logical for the cello to play there. So I'm going to make a decision right now. It's not going to help, right, me to try to force the part to be audible. I'm going to mute it, okay? But let me just check what else is happening here. Okay, so there's this little long sustained line. Okay, we'll keep that. So yeah, doesn't need it, okay? Doesn't need it. Let's just move this up here. And I am going to mute and disable this track. Okay, there we go. All right, decision made. Decision has been made. All right. So so now here is where, okay, this one will make sense. This is like a second cello part. So this one is low. So low one, okay lah, it makes sense lah, all right? Okay, and it's also got something. Okay, very good. Okay, this can go hard, right? Okay, let's check out what else is there. Spiccato. Now with the spiccato notes, I don't think we need to put the compressor on. So let's just leave it there. Because spiccato notes are usually pretty. Okay, I'm getting some messages about bookings. So let's check this one. Okay, you get some of the rosin sound. Okay, this sounds like a little so. Okay, right. Okay, just gonna go through this quickly lah. Okay, so. Okay, similarly, there's all that kind of rosin harshness about. Okay, this is a little last spiccato 4 here. What is this spiccato 4? Check it out. Alright, this is kind of almost like a violin or so. Alright, cool. Alright, let's go on orchestral hits. Right, so orchestral hits need to be big. Dang. Let's listen to it. Okay, right. It's classical, like the trailer orchestral hit. Let's check it out. A little bit louder. Okay, cool. Roughly around there. Okay, this pizzicato section. Sweet. So this is kind of going to be the general level. Again, a lot of automation needs to be done, man. So that is pretty much it. Just a little organ part at the end. Let's check out. Oh, nice rock organ. Sounds good. So just need to take out a bit of the bottom end. Oh, that's awesome, man. I think the ending section is just epic, you know? I mean, the song could have ended here at about 3 minutes for 3:45 and be perfect, but this end section, I just love it lah. Okay, as a musician, as a guitarist, layan, man. This is what I love. All right. So, who cares about radio airplay, man? You know, this is awesome. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much it. I want to show you a couple more things before we wrap up, okay? Because it's already really late. The lewat there. Thank you so much for really checking it out, right? This live stream. So a few other things, few more tips I just want to share with you. A few more things on building up some automation. With bass, this is what I also do quite often. Okay, let me show you. So when we kick into the chorus, you have all the additional parts lah, the strings lah, the BVs lah. You know, we're making everything a little bit more energetic, but you mustn't forget that, right? When you add all the stuff on top, you also want to add a little bit of. You want the bottom to also become a little bit bigger. So one little thing which I do is just automate a small boost, right? A 1 dB boost on the bass whenever the chorus kicks in. So we're gonna do that right now, okay? Just a low shout, right? At about 100 hertz. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very subtle, right? So it's gonna just make the bottom slightly bigger, okay? Whenever it kicks in there. Okay, yeah, there we go. So it kicks in here. Right, okay, so it exits there and then back again in the second chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, and all the heavy breakdown section. let's leave the bass EQ back on all the way to the end lah, okay? Right, because the back is all where the build up is really. Last but not least, the last thing I kind of want to show you, okay, maybe before that, let me just touch up a little bit on the stereo bus. Okay, I'm just going to add a bit of just tweak a little bit of the bus compression. I got 3 different compressors that I've sort of arranged in series. FG Grey, FG Red. Grey is an SSL, Red is a Focusrite, FG Mu is like a Fairchild. So all of them just going to do a little bit. Just about 1 dB of compression each. Right, okay, super cool, man. There's quite a lot of stuff that needs to be done. So let me just add a few more sprinklings of some fairy dust. All right, those of who have watched my streams will know I love this compressor. SPL Iron on the Mixbuss setting, set to MS, right? MS means mid-side. Let's tweak this, and should we go with flat or roll off? Let's just go with the tape roll off first, okay? Because this is more of a rock thing. We want to have a slightly warmer top end. And to top it off, the API 560 graphic EQ. Again, another technique which I just learned. You're just putting it in the signal chain. There's no EQ boost or cut whatsoever. It adds a little bit of something to the entire mix. Last thing, right? Another tip for one more tip for mixing to make your mixes more impactful. You can automate your stereo fader, your master fader. So it's a trick that's been done it's been around for a long time, but it's one of the easiest tricks that you can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to automate and ramp up the stereo fader just 1 dB whenever we kick in the chorus. So here we go. Let's play from pre-chorus. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it, okay? Let me find. I think maybe just a 1 bar ramp up will do good. Right, just 1 bar ramp up. And oops, hang on a second. My fat fingers have touched the mouse DPI setting again. Okay, just up 1 dB. So it ramps up here 1 dB. It makes the chorus just subtly a little bit louder without the listener realizing that you actually just turned the volume up. It just makes everything a little bit more exciting, slightly more dense, slightly more in your face. Alright, so coming out the chorus, we ramp it back down lah. Okay, so this one will be a longer one. Da, da. Let's copy the settings. So we do the same treatment lah. When it gets to the second chorus. There we go. So at bar 105, same thing. Okay, so it bumps up. Okay, let me just go back very quickly. Again, I notice stuff as we go along, so now I think we can bring the attack back down. Okay, right, cool. So ramp down, same thing. Let's find a spot where Okay, I guess maybe when it kicks into the hard. Maybe, yeah, when it kicks into this section. We'll see lah, huh? Maybe I'll adjust it later on. We don't know. So, as you can see, chorus, ramp it up just 1 dB, back it down in the verses. Chorus up another dB, then back down in this bridge, extended bridge. Then at the final outro, you just ramp it back up again. Subtle 1 dB change to your master fader makes a huge difference. So, I guess that's it, right? That's pretty much all that I'm going to show you, right? Setakat ni saja yang I akan tunjukkan, right, daripada segi proses mixing ni. Now, sekarang ni, you know, it's kind of going into about 3 hours roughly. It's usually a good time, right, for me to take a little bit of an ear break lah, right? You need to rest the ear a little bit, sambung, right? Usually I give it a bit of a rest. Maybe I'll continue tomorrow morning, right, or the following day lah. Come back and make some adjustments. It is mainly yang tinggal saja mostly the fine tuning, right? Automating some of the vocals, all the string parts, because to be honest, banyak parts ni this song. It's got a lot of parts that's coming along, right? The drums and the bass and the rhythm guitars are pretty much okay, but it's all these delicate lah, the synth parts, the solo punya section, all these parts yang memang kena automate banyak sikit. There's a lot of automation. Strings as well, right? You need to automate a lot of stuff, right? These guys have definitely got from their creativity point of view, wow, they really went all out and tried and experiment a lot of stuff, which is super interesting, right? Super cool. Alright, but on the other hand, for the mix engineer, okay, banyak kerja sikit lah. A lot more work to do. So, thank you so much, man, for watching, right? We're going to call it a night. I'm going to wrap it up. Right? Thank you, everyone who's still sticking around, still staying there. I can kind of see you all still in the concurrent viewers, so you guys are there. But maybe, right, time for you to sleep. Okay, everyone, thank you so much. We'll just take one more sort of listen through maybe the start up to the second chorus, and we'll fade it out. Thank you again so much for watching. If you did like this little live stream, a little behind the scenes, the belakang tabe kind of a look into the mixing process of your favorite songs, right? Please do leave a like and do share this. Follow the band updates on their Instagram and their Facebook. Details of the band social media, ada semua is all down in the description below. Right, check it out when this single is out. Right, I'm sure they will let you all know lah. Right, if you just follow the band's accounts, then you will know when it's done. What else? Yeah, please do subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I really appreciate it. Okay, all right. Super awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night, selamat malam, and we'll see you again in another video real soon, hopefully. Let's take a listen to, I would say, the first draft of the mix of the song, okay? Here we go.
Akal kau berubah-ubah, kata kau juga bermegah, sampai bila nak jadi Tuhan. Sungguh aku tak percaya, kudaku tumbang di medan.
Some of the spiccato string parts is going to need a little bit more reverb to have it sit in, because it's a bit dry. Some of the guitar parts as well, just automate lah a little bit, just to give it a little bit more impact here and there. Because some of the things like the guitars, the lines, sekarang is all static. String parts especially, this needs some automation. The vocals delivery is really great. Okay, there's the back vocal in the chorus. Nice. bridge section. Choir section. Again, maybe I need to layer some choir samples on top of it. Otherwise, it doesn't really sound choir. The solo. I might automate that little guitar, the muted palm mute punya section, just to narrow it guys down a little bit more, so it's more interesting. See the lead guitar kan, there's a lot of parts there that needs to be covered.
Kau bersiul, oh tak benar. Kapal ternama Junada karam. Angin bertiup hancur ribu melanda.
Back at the kick drum, you might need a little bit of EQ at the 5
Satu syahadah untuk kita semua.
just a little bit, just to give the filter effect.
Kau penipu, berbicara
Very cool. Second chorus.
Kau penipu, dengan langit lupakan Tuhan. Kau penipu.
Okay, the chorus also at the rhythm guitar gets really up. As I said lah, banyak orang suka something that I will do later. There you go. That's it. That's the gist of the song. The rest is the outro. I don't want to spoil too much of it. Right? Tunggu when the single comes out from Projector Band. And baru you dengar the whole song lah. Okay. Thank you so much again, alright, folks. I'll see you all real soon in another video, okay? Next time, do follow, do subscribe to my channel, okay? And have a good night. Peace out. And to everyone who is celebrating Chinese New Year, happy Chinese New Year. Right? Kepada kawan-kawan yang lain semua, selamat bercuti, okay? Right? Stay safe, stay happy. Peace, love.